Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. Let us discuss AEW Rampage Slam Dunk, which started at 7. And guess what? It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Start the show at 7. I love it. I love 7 o'clock. I have for a long time been wondering why don't they just do shows at 7? All right? I mean, is it not 3 hours of Raw if it ends at 10 o'clock rather than 11? Like Raw especially, pay-per-views especially should probably start at 7, not at 8. All right? I think 7 is considered matinee hours still, because it's not, I don't know. I still prefer 7. Do it at 7. All right, so we're going to talk about AEW Rampage, and we're going to talk about a little something, a little offbeat. I'm going to tell you what it is right now, though. There's a wrestler named Hollywood Haley J who wrestles in OVW, and she's going to be working AEW Dark. And a lot of people think that the character is racist. So instead of doing a video about it on its own, I'm just going to put it at the end of here. I'm going to talk about Hollywood Haley J. So, but first we got to talk about Rampage. Since it's a pretty short show, there's not much on it. I'm going to go ahead and breeze right through here. Adam Cole defeated 10 of the Dark Order. They had Adam Cole cheat to beat 10 of the Dark Order. He could put him in a full Nelson. Adam Cole had to smush the referee into the corner, hit the low blow, and then lower the boom in order to beat 10 of the Dark Order. Boy, Jesus H. Honey, I Shrunk the Cole. The second match, Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Dante Martin. Now, this match was actually pretty good. Dante Martin, they actually played up that they've wrestled before and had Hobbs counter a lot of Dante Martin's usual stuff. You know, Dante Martin goes to leap to the top rope. Hobbs, because he's big and tall, he reaches and grabs the top rope just as Dante Martin jumps up there. So it's like he countered it. So it made sense. Hobbs was able to impose himself on, I shouldn't say it that way, but he was able to impose his physical will upon Dante Martin a lot more. And he won the match with a spine buster. Dante Martin still had some pretty good shit in there because he did his spinning plancha. I thought that was very good too. So now Powerhouse Hobbs, Wardlow, Keith Lee, all in the ladder match. Gotta say, usually I beat AEW across the head for not pushing the big guys. I will say this. Thank God they're pushing big guys. ... But they're pushing big guys in a ladder match. You're pushing all the big guys in a ladder match where you don't need to see big guys. You don't need that many big guys in a ladder match. You need probably a big guy. I mean, you're really going to have Keith Lee doing huge spots in a ladder match, really? What kind of ladder match is this going to be with Wardlow and Hobbs and Lee in it? I mean, that's intriguing to say, you know, you got 3 giants in this joint. What kind of match is it going to be? That's interesting. But, you know, it's also very weird. I don't want to see these guys doing lucha stuff off ladders. That's not what I want to see. Somebody's going to get hurt. You know, these are heavyweights. This is not what you do. You know, you don't put them in ladder matches, but hey, people are going to do what they're going to do. So Jade Cargill, she's next, and she wants to know who's next for her championship. But then here comes Matt Hardy once again. He's jibber jabbering, and the long and the short of it is that the Bunny is the next opponent. Jade Cargill has green hair, is dressed like Jim Carrey from Batman and Robin, with a long bodysuit that has... She looked like $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase dressed her. And that was by design, because she actually posted on her Twitter account that, you know, the AEW seamstress put together the outfit, and it was inspired by Jim Carrey, the Riddler. So I was like, I think it kind of destroys her Storm look, which is what the character is supposed to be about. Like, the character is supposed to be based on Storm from the X-Men. So we should have left her hair silver. Now, by turning it green, you could have done the green, like the green eyeliner and everything that she did before. That would have been great, but the platinum blonde needs to stay. I think that needs to stay. It's just one of the character things. Like, I'm not big on people changing. Like, she had an image that people probably got used to, and then she went and changed it, like, for no reason. Change it back. Go back to the platinum blonde. But Jade Cargill and the bunny is not interesting to me. I have no interest in that. Apparently, Matt Hardy doing, quote, erratic behavior is supposed to be the tease of the Hardy Boys returning, and I don't get it. Why is Matt Hardy's erratic behavior supposedly the tease for the Hardy Boys coming back? Shouldn't that be a tease of his broken Matt character coming back? Which I guess is the tease for the Hardy Boys coming back. I don't care about that either. I did a pretty decent rant on the Dynamite review about how I have no interest in Matt Hardy. I still have no interest in Matt Hardy. I have negative interest in the bunny, but I have almost no interest in Matt Hardy at all. All right, Serena Deeb did the rookie 5-minute challenge against Angelica Risk. Angelica is spelled Angelica. She beats her with the Serenity Lock in about 2 minutes and 50 seconds. That's fine. Jay White defeated Trent Beretta with the Blade Runner. This match was pretty long. The promos before the match, Jay White says that when you're the King Switch, you can go wherever you want and do whatever you want. And that there's some people who are not familiar with him, and that's okay because they're going to become familiar. And said that Chaos is familiar with him, Trent is familiar with him, and that he's here to dispose us of Trent on behalf of Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, and that he's going to teach everybody to breathe with the Switchblade. Trent Beretta said that he's going to slam the Forbidden Door in his knife pervert face. And then they went out there and had a match that seemed like it was 20 minutes. I love Jay White, really do. Still feel like this match was too long. Trent Beretta is not a guy to me that you give him 15, 20-minute main events. He's just not that interesting. At the end, it was pretty good. Jay White was being very cocky. Trent Beretta was kind of fighting back. And then I think Trent Beretta was trying to hit him with I believe it was the Emerald Driver or something like that. And he countered it into the Blade Runner. It's pretty sweet. And then they teased Jay White feuding with Orange Cassidy by having him sort of bow up on Orange Cassidy, kind of taunting him, getting in his face. But then when Orange Cassidy came back and started getting in his face, Jay White backed off and, went on about celebrating his victory. Fine match. Anytime I get to see Jay White is very good. Unfortunately, this match was against Trent Beretta, a guy I couldn't care less about. All right. So let's talk about Hollywood Haley J on AEW Dark. So Hollywood Haley J, for those of you who don't know, she is an OVW wrestler. She is a student of Al Snow's. She's still pretty young, and her character is of a white hood rat, essentially. She's very over the top. She's very much like a Shanae, but white. And she has been defending herself on Twitter from these people who have said her character is racist by saying that the character is based off of how she really grew up. And people tend to believe that there are no white people like Hollywood Haley J. And that is false. That just goes to show that there are a lot of people out there who think negative stereotypes only exist in terms of black people. That only ghetto trash can only be black. Like being ghetto trashy can only be a black thing. It's not. There's plenty of ghetto trash white girls out there. Plenty of them. Trailer park, ghetto, hood, trash white girls, yeah, they exist. They absolutely exist. And I think that because it comes from these kinds of people believe that you are your stereotypes. Whatever your stereotypes are, that's who you are. And even if it was just a gimmick, I don't know if that's how she really grew up. I don't know. But even if it's just a gimmick, the gimmick isn't racial because the gimmick includes there are white girls like that. I stay in Detroit, for new listeners. I don't know if you've been on the channel a while, you probably already know this. But right across 8 Mile, right in what we call Metro Detroit, a lot of trashy white girls. A lot of them. Not all white girls are prim and proper. There's quite a few of them that are hood as fuck. Usually, they date black dudes. They do drugs with the black dudes. They hang out with them all the time. All that stereotype Valley girl shit is not always the case. Especially if you hang out like near the trailer parks, like in Warren, where Eminem grew up. There's a lot of Hollywood Haley J's over there. There's quite a few. They listen to rap music. They talk like black girls. They everything, the neck rolling, lip popping, the whole 9 yards. But they're white as the driven snow. Mama white, but daddy ain't there. Or daddy in jail. Same story as the black people. That whole thing, people fucking with this girl. She's young too. She's like 23 or something. She's very young. So she takes this whole getting bullied online thing very seriously. And I didn't say anything, but to be quite honest, it shows that a lot of black people, and I'm sure, to be quite honest and to be fair, I'm sure all of the people who are bullying her online, 90% of them are white people. All right. They're racists because they think only black people can be that way. It's not true. You can look up, Thomas Sowell has a book. It's called, Black Rednecks and White Liberals or something like that. But it tells you the story that ghetto subcultures are essentially the same across both races. Like in the South, there's not just white rednecks. There's also black rednecks, because redneck culture is defined a certain way. That's why you'll often see black dudes who wear trucker hats, wear plaid, chew tobacco, they farm, and, they vote the same way that those guys do. They may even mostly think some ways those guys do, because that's the culture they grew up in, and black people who grew up in Bel Air. That's why the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and they changed the show. They started doing this whole Bel Air bullshit for the Peacock, right? The show was very accurate because if you're black and you grew up around a bunch of fucking white people, rich, you tend to fit in. You talk how they talk. You had Hillary, who had the Valley Girl speak, and Carlton, who was a bit of a nerd. That's normal for people who grew up in that culture. That's the kind of stuff that you would get. And if you ever met any black people who grew up in the suburbs, like I've met black people who grew up in the suburbs. They are like that. There's a lot of Carltons out there, a lot of Hillarys, and there's also some Eminems, some white dudes who grew up in the hood who are kind of, sleazy and dirty, and they're no different than the homeboys, And just like there's Puerto Ricans who are like that, hell, guess what? There are even Arabs like that in the Detroit area. There's a lot of them. It's just the culture. You're looking at a bunch of stereotypes and saying that only black people fit this culture. That's wrong. That's false. That's bullshit. Leave that girl alone, man. That's unfair. All right, so let me know what you guys think about AEW Rampage. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.